Well, as you can tell, folks, I'm at Bob Evans, and there's a sign here that says welcome, and a sign there that says the farm. Well, welcome on the farm, and I happen to be across here, and we had supper tonight after I got my eye worked on by Dr. Gene Noll, and did a beautiful job with my cataract on my one eye, and did a beautiful job, and I found this gentleman here coming in with his UK sweater on and his UK Wildcats hat on, and I happened to graduate from Simon Kenton High School, but went on to the University of Kentucky and graduated in 1970. And he has been a collector since the 1950s. And tell us about it, how you got started, and what all you've collected.
Well, my dad and I used to listen to the UK games on radio, and year 1958, the year they won the national championship, I started keeping a scorebook, and I only wrote the players' names down with the total points that they scored. Well, since then I've advanced. I keep up with the 3-point goals, the 2-point goals, the free throws, and the fouls for every game. Been doing it since '58, and I've got stats for every player for Kentucky since 1934-35 season, all the way through the last game of this season. And along with that, I have every NIT bracket that ever was, and every NCAA tournament bracket that ever was, with all the scores, the teams, the scores on it. And then at the end of the NIT season and the NCAA tournament season, I do my own stats, my own way of doing stats for the tournament. If it wasn't for my dad, I probably wouldn't be doing this.
And your dad's name was?
My dad's name was Carlos Coffey.
Carlos Coffey, and your name is?
David.
David Coffey, and that's spelled
C-O-F-F-E-Y.
C-O-F-F-E-Y.
Right.
Now, first of all, how would people reach you? Do you have a telephone number?
Yes, I have a telephone number. My home phone number is 859-359-0176.
And that's where people could reach you if they needed to.
It's my home phone number, right.
Now, how did your dad get you involved in this?
By just listening to the basketball games on the radio. And I told him one day I'd like to keep up with the number of points the players got, because in the '58 season, Johnny Cox and John Krigler, I think, and Ed Beck, and all of them, and those names just did something that kind of hit home to me. Hey, those names are good names. And I said I'd like to keep up with what the points they got. He said, well, start writing the players' names down, and start writing the points after the game down of each player, and keep up with it. And if you want to do it later on in life, he said might be a good thing for you. Well, I have been to several games. I was in the very first game at Rupp Arena when they played, I think it was Wisconsin. I've still got the little sheet that they give you when you come in the program. I think I've still got the ticket somewhere. And I have went to one game in Old Memorial Coliseum and watched Kentucky play Marquette. I went to Freedom Hall, watched Kentucky play Marshall, and then I went to the RCE Dome in Indianapolis and watched Kentucky play Indiana.
So you've watched Adolph Rupp all the way from the beginning?
All the way since, well, not back in the 30s because I wasn't born to 45, but in 58 is when I started, and I've gone through every coach. And I have lived with some ups and downs.
Joe B. Hall?
Joe B. Hall.
Lancaster?
Harry Lancaster. Of course, I saw him in Rupp when I was in Memorial Coliseum. And then in Rupp Arena. Joby Hall was the coach. I got to see him up close, and of course I met. I'll give you this one. I was in a good position several years ago to work at a company. The president of the company had tickets to a fundraiser at a Catholic church. And he came by one day and said, here's your $150 ticket to this program. And he said, you're going to get to meet Pete Gillen and you're going to get to meet Rick Pitino.
Yeah. Well, neat.
Well, I got to meet Rick Pitino and Pete Gillen, shook hands with them, talked to both of them for probably 10 minutes, and got a picture snapped of me with them. I don't know whether I still have the picture or not, but I'm 5'8", and I could look eye to eye to Pete Gillen and Rick Pitino and talk to them. Didn't have to look up or look down. And they were both, you might not think it was so, but both of the Pitino and Gillen were very, very nice gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
They were, they laughed and talked with me like they'd known me for years.
How wonderful.
And to me, now, nothing against any coach that's been at UK. But I think, to me, Rick Pitino did the most for UK basketball, because Kentucky basketball, when he come, one guy told me all you had to do was pull the toilet handle and UK was done. And I didn't quite agree to that point, but they were in a bad situation. And a lot of people hate Rick Pitino today because he left Kentucky. But I still love him. And I'll tell you what, if something happened to John Calipari and they were looking for a coach, I would vote for Rick Pitino again, because he brought Kentucky from between a rock and a hard place to the standing that it is today. And if you want to argue with me about that,
that's your opinion, isn't it?
that's my opinion.
That's right.
That's the way I feel about Rick Pitino. Now, John Calipari is a good coach, and everybody fusses about the one and done. Well, the one and done is only going to be over when the NBA says it's over.
Right.
Your college teams cannot do anything about the one and done. NBA is the only one that can do that. But everybody said we got to win a national championship. Well, I have gone back to when Rupp started winning national championships. And if you will figure from the 1940s until 2012, when Calipari won his national championship, you can figure on the average of one national championship every 10 to 12 years. If you're lucky, you might win back-to-back like Florida did one year, but winning it every 2 or 3 years is gone by the wayside, because there's too many good kids and there's so many more programs that you have to deal with playing basketball, that one every 2 or 3 years is
hard to do.
Cut it anymore.
That's right. Hard to do.
Hard to do.
Well, Adolph Rupp was a big history of in Kentucky basketball. He was sort of my hero as a basketball coach, having played basketball myself at Simon Kenton, and always dreamed of playing for UK. And but when I got down to the university, I played as center in my high school team, and I got down to university, and I was just a fraction under 6 foot. I didn't have a chance at playing center.
I would say not. And the gentleman I told you about meeting at the University of Kentucky, Rick Roby was his name.
Yes.
I met him and talked to him about 10 or 15 minutes.
He was a big, tall boy.
Big, tall boy. And I have an autographed picture of Adolph Rupp and Cotton Nash together.
Oh, boy.
And Kyle Macy I have a print at home of a basketball with his shoes and his uniform, and I met Mr. Macy and got his autograph also.
Fantastic. Now you've kept all the statistical records
Absolutely.
from every game since 1956, right?
Right.
And the statistics, what are we talking about now to people that don't understand what that might be? But that's a record of free throws, of points, of who scores.
Right. The 3-point goals, the 2-point goals, the free throws, the fouls, the rebounds, and the assists. I keep all of that.
Kept all that as a historical record of
Right.
the history of the University of Kentucky.
Right. Absolutely.
That's quite an achievement. And I'm sure some library someday would be tickled to have that to put into their library.
I've got it all at my house.
Well, that's fantastic. And now, tell us again, your name is Mr. Coffey, right?
My name is David Coffey.
David Coffey, and you live in Independence.
Right.
And
his wife is calling.
and his wife is probably calling now to say, how much longer are you going to be?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that would be my wife sitting here beside me calling. Well,
Why I knew.
I won't take any more time except to say this. As an old UK graduate in 1970, and as someone who has loved the University of Kentucky all my life, as a kid listening on the radio to Kaywood Letford, I believe it was, and spent years, and then I played basketball down at the University of Kentucky and ran track.
Yeah.
I was the fastest in my high school in the 100-yard dash and 220, and but I played on the intramural team since I couldn't play for UK and Adolph Rupp, and I did play on the championship intramural team at the University of Kentucky. And come on right through, folks. We're just having a little talk about UK here.
I'm listening.
And well, it's just an honor to talk to you and to meet you.
Appreciate it.
And I look forward to putting this on YouTube and on Facebook, and mentioning. Would you want to say something
I
else?
got one more thing to say.
Oh, absolutely.
Go women's volleyball team and win the national championship.
Is that UK's? Is it?
It's UK's women's volleyball team.
Well, we wish them tremendous good fortune in
Saturday
doing
night.
so. And tell your wife, and her name is
Barbara.
Barbara.
And tell Barbara,
Eh.
this is courtesy of John and June for putting up with John.
Wait just a second here. Now, get over there, hon. I got to get a picture of this.
That's good.
Let me get a picture of you two together. Come on.
God.
Come on over here.
All right.
Sit down. I won't bite.
I'm June like John and June Carter Cash.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
there we are.
Gotcha. And June just went and got a nice little cake for them. And because we've kept him here while his wife's waiting out in the car.
Treat.
There's my name
Oh,
and
thank you.
address and
Okay,
telephone number.
all right. And do you have one of your cards?
I gave him one of my cards.
So, because of the house thing, if that doesn't work out for you.
You're thinking of buying another house, and
Right.
you need a certain kind of house, and
Right.
that's a 3-bedroom
Right.
and 3 baths
Right.
and a basement.
Now, you asked me if I had ever had an interview done before. It's been years and years and years ago,
Yeah.
okay? And I can't think of the guy's name now, but I can see his face. But he came and talked to me about all this and put a little strip about that long, or about that wide and about that long in the old Kentucky Post paper that used to be around.
Is that right?
I've still got the article, but I can't remember exactly when, but it's been way back yonder when.
Well,
Well, I moved up here in '83, and it was probably in '85 or '86. And, but he didn't talk to me as long as you've been talking to me.
well, I'll tell you one thing I'm going to try to do now.
Talking to you longer, but Barbara's waiting.
But Barbara's waiting, and I tell you this, I just got my eye surgery done. In another 2 weeks, I got to get the other eye surgery done, so I can't do any lifting or climbing or anything like that. But I might do this. I might try to find somebody to come over to your house and take some pictures of the things you've got, if that's okay. And then I can put those pictures with this story that I do on YouTube.
Okay?
Would that be all right?
That'd be fine.
Well, God bless you, and I might just send some young fellow over there to do it as a favor for me.
God bless you all too.
Take care, folks. Travels with John Stephenson, 859-750-0000. God bless you and have a great day.
Thanks.
Have a good weekend.
I had this cataract taken off this side. I don't know, but you couldn't pick in, like you said, you couldn't pick anything up over 5 pounds. You
Right.
couldn't do a whole lot, you know. And I want to go have this one done, but my wife said no, said it was too expensive out of pocket to have it done.
Right.
So
But now, let me tell you something before you leave. In honor of you, a UK fan, and my friend Mike Manget, and his brother Dan Manget, who were both big UK fans. Mike just passed away here the other day, and his funeral's going to be Monday. In honor of him and you and UK, I'm going to sing you the song that Happy Chandler taught me. Oh, the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the children at play. The corn top's ripe and the meadows are in bloom, and the birds make music all the day. Oh, the children roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by, hard times comes a knocking at the door. Then my old Kentucky home says good night. And taking off out the door as you go, weep no more, my ladies. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home, far away. God bless America, and God bless Kentucky, and God bless Mr. Coffey and Mrs. Coffey.
when I lived in Lancaster, I was in a gospel group for 7 years.
Oh, fantastic. And you were born down in Lancaster.
Right, that's where I was.
That's
born.
Garrett County, right?
Garrett County. I lived down there all my life until 1983 of March when I moved up here.
Fantastic.
And met my wife, Barbara, through her grandfather who lived in my hometown.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
And I moved this way. She asked me, I asked her to marry me. She said, well, you have to move this way because I work for the IRS and there was nothing that way that I could go to. So I had to move this way.
Well, God bless you.
God bless you. I know you're not supposed to shake hands, but I'm gonna shake your hand anyway. Nice to meet you. Nice,
Nice
talking
to
to
meet you too.
And you all take
Thank
care.
you, David. Nice
God
to
bless
meet
you.
God bless you and have a good
God
day.
bless you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye now.